comparison, but I mean, we are, as I say, we are painting tabletop standards, so.
Yeah, so the highest point, just put a tiny little,
Quite fascinating to watch.
on the planes of the cheekbones, because the orcs have very pronounced cheekbones. The face is actually very small. It's the
Would
jaw.
you go as dangerously far as to say almost elvish cheekbone?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, danger.
Definitely.
It's quite interesting because I was mentioning to you the other day, Rob.
Yeah.
One of the first figures I ever painted, and this was a long time back. So this was about 1984, 1985. And I mean, I was a runny-nosed, poor little kid back then. And I was down in Norwich, and they had a hobby shop on Elm Hill. Lovely street, Elm Hill, absolutely beautiful. Cobbled. And they had this game shop on it. And they were selling Judge Dredd figures, metal ones. Now this is a while back, I think.
Yeah, that's 80s.
You're gonna sigh, aren't you? Because these are massively collectible, I bet now, aren't they?
They are, because they're out of print. The Games Workshop ones especially.
Oh dear, Rob's not going to like the rest of this story. So anyway, I bought Anderson, and I bought Dredd on his bike, and I bought Dredd. This was my big treat. Obviously, I spent quite a bit of my holiday money on that. And I bought them back, and I didn't really have very much paint. But I knew blue's good, and black and white. And what I had was 3 tins of my mum's lovely acrylic paint. Don't snigger. And I literally, for undercoat, dipped Judge Dredd into the blue acrylic paint, and then pulled him out and let him drip dry over the top. And then using one of those funky blue nylon brushes that you get free with a 99p or 99-cent paint set, you know, the really splayed ones. I bit off some of the bristles, so they're a little bit finer, and I proceeded to try and paint detail on. Well, anyway, after that I wanted to get Judge Dredd to stay on his bike, because, you know, I thought that'd look cooler. And all I had to stick him on, because I noticed that the glue I had didn't work, so I used a soldering iron. Because it was metal, I reasoned the metal would melt a little bit, and he would stick to his bike. And his leg fell off. Completely fell off, melted in a blob. So, the highly collectible Judge Dredd figure, blob on the floor.
Oh.
Right, back to your figure, Rob.
Right,
I can see you're horrified.
That's the final
Let me just focus in on him now.
final go around on the highlights, just to add a bit more sharpness to the face, the edges of the eyes, the sunken eyes, the tip of the nose, the tip of the upper lip.
Yeah, that looks really good. I love the way the muscles are defined now. I mean, you can see how, compared to the base black, they're kind of sticking out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the good thing about the Games Workshop models. They do generally tend to paint themselves at this standard. You don't have to do too much.
Well, you do still have to know the technique, which is the whole point of what we're doing here. So, you know, keep watching. But anyway, so what are we moving on to after this, Rob?
This last section for the skin is the ink wash.
Excellent.
Okay, for the last stage we're going to give it a unifying wash of inks. We're going to go with the dark green and the yellow mix. Problem with inks is they dry rather glossy. That lessens over time. And if it's a game in miniature, you want to varnish it anyway, so that'll knock the gloss off it.
One of the things, I wanted to ask you this myself, Rob, from a personal interested point of view. The few times I've used ink, I mean, I've literally put them on a brush and slapped them on.
Yeah.
And it runs into the crevices fine. But that's not really what you're supposed to do, is it? It's more like a kind of Indian ink drawing technique, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was always concerned because ink's very loose. I mean, it's obviously runny by nature.
Yeah.
So I presume you're going to show us some kind of techniques for controlling that a bit.
Well,
I presume it's just basically careful brushwork and not using too much.
yeah, that's exactly it. Just, you know, be as careful as you can.
It's strange, you see. As a much older person, the logic seems fairly apparent to me now, whereas back then it just didn't.
As you can see, the colours are very vibrant, very intense.
It is. It's a very nice green as well.
Cheers.
Is that green or brown?
That's green and
Green.
yellow mix.
Yeah.
Dark green and yellow mix. Now we want to dilute this to the consistency of dirty water.
Yeah, you are making that quite thin. I'm quite surprised actually.
Because the colours are so strong, it will.
Yeah. I've heard people say that before, though. The inks are a very, very strong ink.
Yeah, it's. I love the inks. It's. If you want to do a more realistic miniature, you would use a paint wash.
Right.
Really diluted paint wash, like dirty water. But
Okay, I'm just gonna.
I really like the inks. I like the cartoon edge. I love the reality based edge as well. Some of the Golden Demon winners are just, the French and the Spanish especially are just awesome. But they've got a history of painting miniatures. They do a lot of the historical stuff. So that's why. Okay, so basically all we're going to do...
I think maybe each country has its own style, I don't know, but...
Yeah. I mean, Mark McVeigh was English, so... And he is the man.
I mean, as much as anything, though, the country you come from really doesn't dictate the quality of your painting. It's all down to patience and developing your own technique as much as anything.
Yeah.
It really is something that you can't rush.
Which is unfortunate, because... I know nowadays especially we want to...
Well, we do very much live in a society where people want stuff immediately, and you can buy figures that are pre-painted, but quite frankly, and deep respect to the companies that have came out with this as an idea, it's not really as satisfying, I think, for the people out there who want something customised and tailored to their own needs.
Definitely. I mean, the only other way to go around that is to... Yeah, I mean, the only other way is to I don't know, the commission service pay a few £100 to...
Yeah, it's strange to think actually that you really can earn quite a good living if you are a good figure painter.
Yeah, the Golden Demon Award winners, that's a pretty good benchmark for quality.
Mm.
I noticed on eBay there was the American Demons are coming up, and an American painter with a very unique style was offering a